5 essential knots for men over 30. The Clove Hitch. The Clove Hitch is used in boating, outdoors, and also for home and garden. The Clove Hitch can be used as both a binding and also as a hitch knot to secure a line to an object. Begin by passing the end of your rope all the way around your object and cross over the standing part of your line. Then make another turn around the object and then pass underneath the overlapping line and then cinch up the knot. As you learn to tie knots, it's important to learn various ways to tie them. For example, from left to right and right to left. With the Clove Hitch, you can tie it another way when you have access to the end of your object. Take the rope and twist it away from you to form a loop. From there, do the exact same thing again to form a second loop. Now, place the second loop on top of the first loop. You'll notice that both of the ends are in the middle. The hitch is now placed over your object and then cinched up tight. The sheep bend. The sheep bend is a joining knot that's used to tie two ropes together. It's used in boating, outdoors, and home and garden, and is best used with two lines of different thickness or material. Start with the first line in a bight. This should be the thicker of the two ropes. The smaller diameter rope will now go up through the bight and wrap around the thicker rope, and then tucked underneath itself. Now you have the basis of the sheep bend, so cinch it up tight. A weakness and a benefit of the sheep bend, in fact all of these knots, is that they are easily untied. Another way to tie the sheep bend, and for a more secure knot, is to make this a double sheep bend by simply adding an additional wrap. If done properly, the knot will appear tidy and be easy to untie when you need to. The Bowline. The Bowline is a loop knot which is extensively used in boating, but also used in the outdoors and around the home. Specifically, the Bowline is an end-of-line fixed loop knot. First, with the standing line running away from you, start by twisting a small part of your rope to make a small loop. The loose end is then brought through the bottom, through the loop, around the standing part of your line, and then back down through the loop. From there, you can cinch up the knot. The bowline can be used at one end to anchor off your rope, and as you can see, the bowline won't tighten around an object. There's a quicker way to tie the bowline. Let me show you. You can tie the bowline in a smooth motion by swooping the end around the standing part to make the first loop, and then continue the knot as you'd done before. And this is what it should look like when you're done. You won't always have the standing line running away from you when you tie a bowline, so it's important to practice tying the knot both directions. If you're tying the bowline with the standing line running towards you, it's important to know you just need to twist your little loop in the opposite direction, and then continue the knot in the same way. This is especially useful when tying the bowline around an object, like a post or a rail. The next knot is a directional figure 8 loop. The directional figure 8 is a midline fixed loop that's used in boating and mountaineering, and also used in other outdoor and home and garden applications. Begin with the standing line facing away from you and form a large loop with the working end passing over the top. Now pass the loop behind and then over the standing part, then behind itself and through. Pull down and cinch up the knot. You can see that the directional figure 8 forms a midline loop knot that points in one direction, and that makes it great to clip on or hang things off of, because they will always hang pointing in the direction of the knot. The Taut-Line Hitch. The Taut-Line Hitch is an adjustable loop used in boating, outdoors, and for home and garden uses. Its primary use is to create an adjustable loop knot where the tension and size of the loop can be adjusted. To tie the Taut-Line Hitch, begin by passing your working line around your anchor point and cross the end over the standing part to form a loop. Then wrap your working end around your working line once on the inside of your loop. Continue to pass your working end around your loop for a second wrap. From there, bring your working end to the outside of your loop and create another wrap. This time, passing your working end through your wrap and then cinch the knot. Knowing how to tie knots is an important skill, and knowing a little about different types of rope is also important. You can see here that although the Taut-Line Hitch is a very common and useful knot, it won't cinch up very tight. That's because it's important to also use the right type of rope for both the application and the knot being tied. This 10mm climbing rope is just too thick to allow the tight wraps required to create the friction needed in a Taut-Line Hitch. But if I switch to a different, thinner rope, the Taut-Line will cinch up nice and tight. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to learn more about other knots and how to tie them, then check out the information in the description of this video for the best resources on where to learn knots. Thanks for watching.